Hey, good looking. Welcome back to my channel. Almost forgot my intro right there. I want to sit down and talk a little bit about something that's kind of heavy on my mind. So I was supposed to be putting out a live stream this morning, and I was going to be duping the vibes of the Natasha Denona Gold Palette. And I had found some wonderful shades. I thought we'd, have some awesome dupes in there and whatnot. And then just yesterday, so today is the 7th, yesterday there was a post made that the Natasha Denona Gold Palette came back into stock on Sephora's website. So today I'm going to be talking to you guys a little bit about the project that I've been working on so hard, and then also kind of the emotions and the psychological behavior that is behind all of the fear mongering that goes into brands who do this to us. And this isn't so much a lecture video. I want this to be very much, you guys get into the comments and tell me what you really feel about this. I'm going to talk about my feelings, and then I want you guys to talk about your feelings, because if we both talk about this enough, we will be able to kind of find out what our triggers are, and also like how to kind of get around this. I'm going to be using this palette today with some shades, and I'll probably give you guys some just some nice swatches, but it's not going to be a swatch story, like my swatch parties are or anything like that. I'll just give you guys a couple swatches, and it will be very laid back. So we're doing this kind of get ready style, but at the same time I'm going to be talking a little bit about my feelings about all of these discontinued or limited edition palettes that maybe I'm duping, and yet here they are still around. The first palette that I ever duped, that was Natasha Denona. I think it was the Sephora palette, and it was a limited edition palette, and I duped it because it was limited edition, right? And then it stayed limited edition for like 2 or 3 years later. So was it really limited edition? That's kind of where I'm at with that. So I used the shade Had Me at Yellow with Makeup Geek in it. I just put some browns, and I did go to the Temtalia blog site to kind of, I don't know if you want to call it cheat, but look up some of the dupes that dupe for the Natasha Denona. And then I slipped some other shades in here as well. I actually invested in a couple of Pastel Roses shades for this particular dupe palette because I was under the impression that the palette was no longer available, and I had to live with that for the rest of my life. Like, oh my goodness, first world problems, right? But no, I'm just saying, like, that's just where I was at, I'm not going to get the palette. It's not going to be available. So I started investing in some shades this is the shade Creme Brulee by Makeup Geek. You can't even see it, but it's back there. It's that nice creamy, it's kind of the same shade as before, but this is also going to be just really, really laid back. I'm not going to really spend a lot of time editing this and making it presentable, because this is in lieu of my live streaming, because now I'm kind of torn about what to do. I will say this, I fed into the fear mongering of the whole discontinued. I got confirmation on Reddit yesterday that Natasha Denona put out a video, or maybe it was a live stream on Instagram, that did actually confirm that she was discontinuing the palette. So this is JD Glow's White Gold. I think I kind of want to put that all over my eyes with my finger. Here, let me give you guys a live swatch of this one. And this is just very informal. There you go. My lights are blowing it out, and typically I try to get a lighting set up so that you can kind of see the color a little bit better, but anyways, that's it. It's very pretty. But this was supposed to be in lieu of the shade Sparks, and it's completely opaque, so I'm using it actually as a shadow that goes underneath. Yeah, it's just way, 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 way too opaque of a shadow. It wouldn't be a very good dupe for Sparks, but it's kind of a nice shade. I have been watching dupe videos, so Alice Beauty's Madness, she duped the vibes. Then she went out and bought the palette because she realized that there's a lot of formulas in there that don't really coincide with her dupe shadows, and I would say I have to agree with that. This has been probably one of my hardest palettes to dupe yet because it's not just formula. It's not just an opaque shadow. There's toppers in there. There's like 3 toppers in there. And one of the toppers is, you know, Sparks, which is what I'm using this shade in place of. And then there's another shade in there, and it's kind of like a turquoisey shade. See, this is even a little bit too much for me. Just kind of want it like all over. It's a bit bright. Like, actually, like way too bright. That's okay. And you know, she found out, well, she really does enjoy her palette. So that made me think, you know, maybe this is just one of those times where the formula really would pay off if I owned the palette, you know. So when I discovered that it was discontinued and it was out of stock everywhere, I was like, okay, now I owe it to my community to go ahead and dupe the vibes of it, so you guys have, you know, some shadow ideas, or you have whatever you feel that you need to kind of make yourself feel better. And when I saw it come back in stock yesterday, I'm like, is this really truly discontinued or not? I feel like brands are doing this on purpose. I'm gonna go ahead and use some of this dupe for Lime Crime, and it is my Pastel Roses shade. It's either Starburst or Sunburst, I can't remember. So this is Starburst. I'll give you guys a nice swatch of it. It's really, really creamy and pigmented. I'm gonna have to give it to you on the back of my hand to give you guys the shifts. See it? But even that isn't like, so this is just like insane amounts of pigment, right? It's not, I don't think it would be a very good dupe. I think it would be like a one-up dupe for the palette. But also, I just want to go back to saying, brands are doing this. I saw on Instagram the other day, I can't remember where I saw this from, but it was in reference to people who emotionally shop. Oh, I think it was actually Tarte, if I remember right, and it was the concealer, and it's like, because we know you're gonna hoard and shop, so you might as well go ahead and buy extras or something like that. And I thought to myself, how dare a company do something like that when some people legitimately have mental health issues surrounding like depression and anxiety, and they might shop and they might like buy more than they should, right? And how dare these companies blatantly put it in our face and make a meme about it. So like basically I felt a little triggered by that, because I thought to myself, maybe it's because I suffer from it a little bit, but I also feel like brands are not hiding the fact that they know they can get you to buy their product. So we as a beauty community, this is my little soapbox real quick, we as a beauty community have to be more choosy about what we buy. We have to form groups, you know, that say like, is this really truly a palette that you need and you want and you desire? Or is this just something to kind of fill a void right now? I think we need to be having more of those conversations, because brands, they're feeding off of this. They're feeding off of this. And that is just not okay, in my opinion. And if you feel targeted, please don't feel like you are, you know, get in my comment section. Let me know, like, do you feel this way sometimes? Because I am feeling this way. That's why I'm talking about it. So don't feel like I'm over here trying to lecture you. Like, feel like you're one of my groupies now, right? I've always been one of those, like, I like to use my single shadows. But recently there have been a couple of brands that I have found. I'm not sure I love this look, but let's keep going, and I'm going to deepen up the outer V. I'm using Sydney Grace's shade, I think it's dark chocolate, so I'll go ahead and deepen up the outer V with that. So I recently, what was I saying? I can't even remember. This is why I don't do this. I recently discovered that there are many brands that I can't use their formula. It just doesn't work on my eyelid. If you've been in my community for a little while now, you've been a subscriber, you might know I can't use Terra Moon shadows. I ordered, oh, I do want to let you know, I did order an Urban Decay primer. I'm going to try that one. That's, I think, the only primer that is like a cult beauty classic favorite that a lot of people use and it works for them. That hasn't worked for me, or that I haven't tried yet, excuse me. So we're going to give that one a go, but I feel like I've used quite a few of the other bases. I haven't used P. Louise because P. Louise, you can only buy it at either Morphe or online, and it's really hard for me to invest in shadows overseas because it's really expensive shipping usually, so I try to kind of stay away from that. I'm just going to go ahead and put some underneath. I will say this though, for one, like, I was really shocked to see that Natasha Denona as a brand has done that. I thought they were more classy than that. I thought that, you know, if they're going to discontinue it, then discontinue it. I think the response was that she was just like gonna fade this palette away, right? She was just going to let it go and you know, kind of let it fade off. But then she saw how many people truly wanted the palette and liked it, and so she brought it back because of the whole, like, you know, money issue. I think it was an easy cash grab for her on this last round. And, you know, I don't know. What do you guys feel like? Let me know in the comments down below, because I was just totally taken aback. I don't feel like this is even a look you would get with the... Yeah. So anyways, I did want to get you guys out a live stream, but I'll be out of the studio, so this is going to be the video. It's not very long. I just want to start the conversation. What do you guys feel about brands? And you know what? I will do my best to look, now that I know that it's Tarte's, I will do my best to look and maybe pop in, if I can find it, the meme where Tarte actually just like targets people with, and you can tell like they're targeting people who have either A, a shopping addiction, B, mental illness, and maybe both, or like anxiety and depression. And they are specifically targeting these types of people and going after them to get them to buy. I mean, that's just what it seems like to me. This is the new Maybelline Gloss. It's supposed to be like a Fenty Gloss Bomb dupe. I love it. It's one of my favorite, right next to the Essence. I got a couple of those too. But yeah, let me know what you think about. I hope that this satisfies the content that you guys were supposed to get. We will. So let me go ahead and give you guys a couple of minutes here. What we'll do is next week I'll be back live streaming with you guys, so we'll have some live chat. You guys can continue the conversation there, but in the meantime, get in the comments section, voice your opinion on what you think this is all about. Like, you know, I've been working really hard to get these dupes, and I've invested a couple of, you know, shadows for some shades in the Natasha Denona Gold Palette, and then all of a sudden it came back in stock. So I don't know how I feel about this. I have been toggling back and forth on whether or not I want to buy this palette. It's a lot of money. It's a lot of money for me to invest in a palette. So I don't know which direction I'm going to go. I will go ahead and link the palette, and it will be an affiliate link for you guys if you do want to check out the palette. Also, I don't know if it's being discontinued. I can't answer that because I thought it was, and now it's back. So I'm really kind of, you know, shocked, to say the least. But also, you know, I'm everywhere. Let me know in the comments what you think down below. We'll continue the live streaming. I just had to take this week off and last week off as well. Also, if I can't make it next week, it'll be because of a technical issue. I really want to focus on making sure that my content is really up to quality, and I can't do that unless I've got the right tools. So I'm going to be, you know, I'm going to be playing around with some sound and some audio. I'm going to also, you know, hopefully get an Ethernet cable so that my connection is like solid in sound and, you know, solid state drive kind of thing. So please bear with me as I get that set up and just kind of go with the flow. So you might get another edited video in place of that live stream, but always you can count on weekly content centered around single eyeshadows, makeup brushes, that art Morphe, and some sunscreen. Okay, so like as promised, I kind of wanted to just run through a couple of these shades. This is just the project that I have been working on so far, and then we were going to kind of go into the formulas and shadows and stuff like that I am working on. So this is JD Glow's White Gold. I think I gave you guys that. All right. Then I've got Starburst, I believe it is. Yeah, it's Starburst. Okay. Then I kind of cheated, by the way. So I'm using Makeup Geeks. I believe this is Time Travel. Yes, I'm getting good. I should just trust my process here. Trust my training. So this is Makeup Geeks Time Travel. I don't remember what shade it dupes, but there you go. It doesn't swatch very well, but it does work very well on the eyes. So there's that. Hitting up that vibe. So Alice's Beauty Madness, she uses the shade Houdini. I have that as well, but I thought I would try to go a little bit lighter and do the Autumn Breeze for that. It's kind of that turquoisey teal topper shade that Natasha Denona features in her gold palette. So let's just go ahead and swatch out. It's going to be more opaque, but I thought if I went old school, that maybe, you know, a lot of the old school shadows don't have as much opacity like the new shadows. That wasn't the thing back in the day. It's still a little bit. It's too opaque for my opinion. You would need that topper shade. Otherwise, this is basically, you know, a shade that you'd lay underneath. And the same way with the JD Glow Gold, White Gold. So Haystack is the shade. I don't remember what it's what it dupes, but Timtalia's blog had that as one of the shades that dupes it. So we'll go ahead and show you that. And then I just put some shades in there like Creme Brulee, Had Me at Yellow, and then I forget what shade this even was. This is Tiki Hut. And then the last shade that I think is like kind of worth mentioning is a shadow that I got from a friend, and it is the Fyrinnae single shadow in the shade Luxury. Super beautiful gold, highly pigmented. Let's swatch. There you go. Okay, so there are some shadows. I've been working on them, so we'll continue to work on them the next week when we get together live streaming, and we'll just kind of look through some of the shadows. But there you go. Kind of gives the vibe of the Natasha Denona Gold Palette, but still I feel like we're missing those toppery types of shades. So if you guys have any suggestions, leave them down in the comments below. So thanks so much for tuning in, guys. Let me know down below. I can't wait to see you guys in my next video.